great country singer he is, one of the best to ever grace the country music stage, and I'm lucky enough to have him here right now talking to us. Howdy, Doug.
How you doing, man?
Man, doing just great. So proud to have you on the show. I just love your music.
Glad to be on the show. Glad to be above ground, as a matter of fact.
I know, that's right. Hey, we got we are in a chat room also in Facebook. We're doing a lot of multitasking here. And this morning I had a guy that he had a #1 record just recently on New Music Weekly. It hit Alan Osborne, and him and his bass player, they have a band in Washington. He wanted me to make sure that I said that Alan and Kevin Williams just love you. So I've just passed that word along.
Yeah, man, that's great. I appreciate that.
What I want,
you know, I've been real lucky to be in the music business as long as I have. 24 years now, and of course I started when I was 57. Started when I was 7 years old, and I'm 57 right now. So
I saw that you know, most of us wait for a lifetime to try to get to play with a big star, and you played with Loretta Lynn of all people at 7 years old.
I'm telling you, man, I went out there on stage, I was scared to death. When I went back, when she went out there, she said, you know, I hope y'all don't mind, I'm just country, and kicked her shoes off. I said, that's what I want to do. I want to be myself and play country music.
Well, she does to do that. I've been to several of Loretta shows, and that's the first thing she does, tell that band to stop it. And then she kicks those shoes off, and off she goes.
She's wonderful, man.
You've written some.
Yeah, you know, I did an E-Hall show with her on TV, and I asked her, I said, do you remember me? They used to call me Little Dougie Brooks. And, you know, I changed my name because of Garth, but she said she remembered me.
I bet she did, too. I bet she was telling the truth, too.
Oh, yeah.
Just that kind of woman. I met her and Mooney both when I was had a theater up in Branson, Missouri, and boy, they two of the best people in the world. And Loretta's Loretta. I don't care if she's on stage or if she's out there talking to just ordinary people like me. She's still Loretta, you know. And you are too. And you're the same way. I've heard the same
way I am.
I've heard the same thing said about you. You play a lot of dates in Texas. In fact, we almost think you are a Texan. I didn't know until I started reading your bio that you were from Georgia. But man, I always thought you were a Texan.
Well, you know, I really am a Texan at heart. I came out here and, you know, there was a flood back years ago, and I put together myself and the Red Cross together and did a benefit concert over at Billy Bob's. And we raised, I think, $18,000 or something like that, which was pretty cool for the flood victims. And Governor Ann Richards was there, and I have a plaque at the house hanging on my wall, real proud that I'm an honorary Texan. So.
All right, well that's cool. And you've done a live album over at Billy Bob's, one of my favorite hangouts. That was a great show too.
You know, I did the album, but my manager messed up. Is all I can say. I mean, I told him, I said, well, let's take my band and do the gig because they know my stuff. Well, they go, oh no, we got the Ace in the Hole band. And I said, George Strait's band? And I said, well, that'll do. And then we got over there. Nobody that they said was there was there.
Yep.
And you never heard two boys getting a cussing like I gave them.
I did.
And,
I know how
that ended. That pretty much ended our relationship together because I'm like, you know, I'm going to do a live album at the world famous Billy Bob's in Texas, where I have millions of fans, and then you're going to put me with a band that don't even know my stuff. So that album really is not my best album. It's as a matter of fact, I would strike it as my worst album.
I had the same thing happen to me. I brought Freddie Hart down here to do a show for the soldiers over in Afghanistan and Iraq, a fundraiser to send food over there to them. And man, I tell you, we were supposed to have Hank Thompson's band, and that's who they had. And I got over here, and it wasn't Hank Thompson's band. Maybe one of his players, but they didn't know his music, and I was so embarrassed for him. And of course, he's mad at me. It wasn't my fault. I thought I had a great band for him, you know. But that's
what I had to do. I had to go to Texas, and we set up on Billy Bob's stage, and we practiced for 3 days. And by the time we got to the gig, I was hoarse and I couldn't sing, and it was just one of those nightmares you go through in this business.
Well, you know, I'm kind of mad at you a little bit, Doug. And I have to be. I have to say it on there. You just don't get any older. I look at your pictures. I see you in person, and you just don't change. I keep getting older every hour. I look in the mirror, and man, I've done got older. But you don't do it. What is the trick?
Thank God for Clairol. That's all I do is dye my hair, you know.
Clairol doesn't help my 2 hairs though I got left.
I'll tell you what though. You know that gig you're talking about in Wharton?
Yeah.
You didn't get to talk to? Let me tell you something. That was one of the best bands I've played with. They beat my band.
Aren't they a good house band? Man, they are terrific.
They were wonderful, man. I had a great time.
And Following You is coming up here in June. It's going to be Bill. Man, you know what? I'm getting to it. Bill Anderson. He's going to be doing a couple of shows, and that'll be another good one. Marilyn Carter and Jerry are 2 of the nicest people in the world there at the Texas Opry.
Yeah, they are. You know, I got to talk to Bill one day. He come over to the house in Nashville when I was living there, and he said, well, let's talk for a little while. And I said, okay. And I told him, I said, well, you know, my first wife gave me the house, and my second wife took the house, my third wife took the house. And I said, Bill, I'm just house broke.
you are. That's the true definition of being house broke.
I don't think we ever wrote it, but it was funny.
You ought to write that one. I'm surprised Bill didn't.
I'm house broke.
I'm surprised Bill didn't write it. To tell you the truth.
Hey, my guitar player Scott Callan will be on stage and he'll go, well, I heard all your ex-wives were housekeepers. I said, yeah, they kept all 3 of them.
You know, Doug, I keep hearing people say all the time that you reach a certain age and you're too old to get out here and try to make it or get started. You wasn't any spring chicken when you got your first good contract with Epic Records.
No, I was. As a matter of fact, I was 33 years old. They thought 33? I was 26.
Yeah, well, that's the trouble. See, that's why I'm mad at you. You look too young. You look younger than what you are. But boy, the great stuff that came out of all that. Tell us a little bit about from your 7-year-old thing with Loretta Lynn. Kind of take them through some of these, you know, the lifetime of Doug Stone and how all these great songs that you've come out with. Boy, just platinum albums and all kinds of great stuff.
You know, it's really strange. I wish Sony would pay me.
All right.
I'd have about $5 or $6, $7 million in the bank, but as we speak, I think I got 3,000. You know.
Got to borrow 1,000. I'll pay back. It'd be in the mail.
Yeah, you know, it was really funny. All my life, as a child, I felt like I was going to make it. You know, Mama taught me how to play the guitar, and she got me that gig with Loretta Lynn. And then from there, at 11 years old, I started playing with a band out of Lawrenceville, Georgia,
wow,
called the Country Rhythm Playboys. And the oldest guy was, the next oldest guy to me was 34. So, you know, I was just a kid, you know, and playing drums for him. Yeah. I didn't know how to play drums, and I went to the studio one day because, oh God, I wish I could remember his name. Anyhow, there's a guy, he did his radio show for Sunday, and he got me to play on it, you know, in his studio, and we'd do that. But it was amazing, man. I wish I could remember his name. It's been so long ago. But from there, I got a band together when I was 15, and I played with them guys for a while, and then, I don't know, the rest is kind of history. You know, I went there, I was 20-something years old and started playing at the VFW Hall in Newnan, Georgia, and this woman came up to me, she says, "Ooh, I like the way you sound." I said, "Well, thank you."
That's what we do. That's what we do it for.
Go ahead.
That's what we do it for, is that them women come up there hollering and screaming.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Until they take them home.
I tell kids nowadays, if you want to get some women, get you a guitar.
Well, and then you don't have a house anymore.
Well, you know, there's one thing about life. It's got a dead end to it. And ever since I tried to die, you know, when I was 35, I quit. I walked around for a year and a half thinking, oh my God, I got this black cloud hanging over my head, and I'm going to die any minute. And then one day I was in Nashville, and there was this guy coming down the sidewalk with no legs in a wheelchair. And from that day on, I said, Lord, I'm all right.
Yeah. Yeah,
I started living.
It can bring you back down to earth real quick. But you did come, you had some pretty narrow escapes from things, man. I tell you, I was reading your biography, and you're one of the few people that crashed an ultralight airplane and lived to talk about it. You know, that's pretty cool. Like, but it's cool now, anyway.
It's really funny. I have to laugh about it because I'd been flying what they call a Challenger 2-seat for about a year and a half. And the guy I bought it from, I mean, you know me with heart disease, diabetes, thyroid disease, I'm like, you know, they're not going to let me give me a license to fly. And I always wanted to fly.
Yeah, I have it too.
I love flying, man. It's great. So I found this guy on the internet, and I said, I'm going to go buy his plane. So I went over and I said, you know, if you'll teach me how to fly this plane, I'll buy it. So he said, cool. His name was Carroll Smiley. Great guy. Lives there in Franklin, Kentucky, and which was next door to where I lived in Springfield. And I said, okay, and we became great friends. He taught me how to fly. It was really weird. I went up in the plane, and I was flying around. He said, let's go. I went up in the plane, flying around. He said, let's land. I said, okay. And I was afraid because the ground was coming up pretty fast, but he ain't said a word. And I got scared and pulled back on the stick and flared it, what they call flaring it, and it hit the ground about 20 feet out of the air and then left landing gear. But, I mean, I hit the gas. I said, oh, I hit the gas. He said, hey, you're pretty quick on that gas. I said, well, thank you. But, when I got that other plane, I bought it out of Ohio, and the guy lied to me. He said, oh, yeah, I've flown it for 20 hours, and it's a great plane and all this stuff. And so I bought it, and I went home, put the wing on it, and took off. It had never been flown. And there ain't many artists out there that call themselves, put on their resume, go, I'm a test flight dummy.
Man, I've seen those things. That ain't much of an airplane to start with. Just the wings sticking out there a little bit, you know. Good grief. And you walked away from that. Well, pretty much did. You a broke ankle and a cracked rib, but my gosh, I mean, that could have been.
I had three cracked ribs, a broke ankle, and a fractured arm.
Oh, well, they didn't say all that on there.
It bruised my kidneys.
I want to ask you something. Is the doctor that treated you the one that became your manager?
No.
Well, it's
why is that?
I just thought maybe, you know, I saw he was a doctor, and I thought, you know, and on your bio it comes right after you had this airplane crash. I thought, man, what a great way to get a manager. Better crash me an ultralight.
Well, you know what I went and told the label? After the heart surgery at 35 and the airplane crash and the stroke and the heart attacks, I said, you know what? I think I've done all I'm going to do for y'all as far as making publicity.
I know that's right. I've had basically the same thing you did 3 times. Of course, and they told me next time would be a bypass, but they put stents in me and got me moving again. But I just like to eat too much of the wrong stuff, you know. I like.
You know, my daddy. It's really funny. My daddy's 81 years old, and he's ate lard his whole life. Country ham, bacon, biscuits, you name it. And to be honest with you, and the way I feel about it now, you're going to die. You know, life's a dead end. You are going to die. There's only been 2 that left here, Lazarus and, it wasn't Lazarus, but it was, you know, Jesus and somebody else went to heaven. And I don't think I'm going to walk out of here like the other guy.
No, I think we were born to die, pretty much.
Well, you know, you start dying the minute you're born.
The minute you're born. If we worried about it, we'd go crazy, wouldn't we, if we worried about it all the time?
Let me tell you something. If we knew of all the diseases and all the things that could kill us, we wouldn't get out of bed in the morning going, "Ooh,
ain't that right?
Die."
Ain't that right? The food, the water's poison, the air's poison, the wife is poison. Yeah. You know, you got all these hairsprays and all this stuff that Yeah, well, you're right. We'd sit around worrying all the time and never be able to do nothing else.
Now, that's what come to me. I said, I'm not worried about dying anymore. That's a given. I'm worried about living. I want to have a good time. I don't want to hurt nobody. I want to have a great time. Every now and then sing a song that touches somebody's heart. That's about all I'm about.
You got a big show coming up tonight, right? No, that's I have fast.
Tomorrow night in Louisiana.
Yeah, tomorrow night in Louisiana. You're going to be in Houma, Louisiana. That's that's some great food there. You talk about food.
We're gonna bust our guts.
I love Houma, Louisiana. Old Joel Sonnier probably be down there somewhere. And then
I love him.
I just had him on the show here the other day. I didn't even have to talk. I just said hi, Joel, and boy, there it went. He's a great guy, man. Quite a musician. I guess people still use.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, you can. Anything.
What happened to country music?
Oh, there were some people that tried to kill it, but we won't let it over here at our radio station. We have a big FM station, 95.7, and we play on Friday and Saturdays. We play classic country 24 hours a day, or the older country. On my weekday shows, we play independent country, and there's a lot of really good independent artists out there. Plus, a lot of the old guys are releasing new music now. We've got I keep wanting to say Grantland Rise football. Bobby G. Rise, he's got a new song out. Stonewall Jackson, who I had on the other day, he's got a new CD and a single out, and it's on the charts, believe it or not, several charts, and climbing.
Oh.
And we've got the Ray Price album, the last one that he made. And we've got Johnny Cash's last album before and we play all these songs in a mixture of it. And I've played, just waiting on you to get in there, I played 5 of your songs. We play you all the time, and I ain't gonna let it die. But there are people out there that are have tried to kill it. But I tell you, Doug, if you look at the chart now, and if you've been watching them for the last 6 or 7 months, you'll see that there is a change that's coming back toward good country music again, and the artists out there playing country music again. I think it's happening. I really do.
Well, it's kind of like the Fox in Georgia, the Fox Theater.
Yeah.
Everybody raised a big fuss about they're going to tear it down. Well, they're trying to tear down country music now. I mean, the music, to be honest with you, the music they're playing is really good.
Yeah.
But it ain't country, it's 70s pop.
And that's what we were talking about the other day. Not only is it pop, but they're singing about the same friggin' pickup trucks and bottle and can of beer. That's all you hear. It's about a pickup truck.
They can't write a song without going a pickup truck, a beer, and a girl. I'm like, there's a hell of a lot more. Excuse me for saying that.
Yeah, they're not. That's okay. I tell it like it is, the way I look at it.
Country music used to be about, how you lived, how you grew up, how you was treated, how you treat a lady, how you work,
It was part of it was our life. We write about our life, and the writers write about you sing with that emotion because you've lived it too, and people could identify with it. I can't identify with this junk out there now. Zach, whatever his name is, he's got a big band, big name now, and he got a song out there. I put my feet in the sand, my rear end on the,
King Chesney.
And that's all they can sing about. I mean, they just don't get it or something. And the folks don't get it either, and they're not buying their records, and they're not going to their, well, I guess the teeny boppers are going to their shows. But, I was talking to...
supposed to be, but they left the 30-somethings to the 90-somethings out.
But I talked to a guy the other day, and he's one of the big Clear Channel stations everywhere, and he told me that the biggest country station that got the biggest listening audience and the most shares and spins all the time is a classic country radio station. They have more listeners on the internet than anybody does, and they can say all they want to about what numbers they got, but that's the biggest station. The second biggest station, playing classic country music. The third biggest station, playing classic country music. So it should tell somebody something. You know, that should tell somebody something.
The thing about it is, man, country music is about our country. We came up with it. America came up with that.
Yeah.
You know, we came up with country music. It's our music. And what they've done is, it's almost a disgrace, as far as I'm concerned, to try to pass that crap off. I mean, it's not crap. Excuse me, I said the wrong word. It's good music. It's just not country.
It's not country.
You know,
They should have a different. They should have a
Get out of
different.
my country.
They should have a different genre. Don't you agree? They should have a. If they want to call it new, fast pop rock and roll country, and then have a country.
Oh yeah, yeah. Have another genre, because it ain't turning me on. I mean, you know, hey, I tell you what, there's a lot of people coming out too that are young, and they're really good. I'm on tour with a girl named Jade Jack right now. She's out of Texas.
Yeah, I listen
And
to
that
her.
girl, you know her?
I know of her music because of you. I read something about you had was talking about her on your website, and I went and looked her up on YouTube and some stuff, and she's really good.
I mean, she's like old country. She's like an old soul, and she's got an album she's having pressed right now. And people need to listen to that album. And I mean, return is country's coming back. We're not going to give up. And before I die, I want to see it back at the top.
You need to come down here and live with me and live with us. Dadgummit, me and you be a heck of fishing buddies, because I believe everything you're saying. I want to ask you. I got to ask you a question though. I got people here in the chat room that's asking these questions. One of them, Jeff Davis, wants to know: have you ever played with any great harmonica players? Well,
is he a harmonica player?
He's a harmonica player. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he always
I played with Jerry Rose Johnson. Played on a lot of my albums, and then I can't remember his name, but I think his last name was McMillan. And I think he done a little time in jail. I don't know what for, but you know how musicians are. We're crazy to start with. You got to be nuts to want to ride a bus for a living.
If you ain't been in jail a couple times, you can't be a country singer anyway.
Well, that's right. I guarantee you that.
Got drunk and fell down and had a fight or something.
Yeah.
Another, Alan Osborne and his crew from Houston, Texas are up in Oregon doing a tree crew service. He said somewhere we're in Oregon and we're listening to you, and they wanted to say hi to you, the whole crew up there up in Oregon. We got people from California.
I opened for Kenny Rogers up there a long time in Prineville, Oregon.
Yeah.
And my heart was hurting me. Of course, it's been hurting me for 6 weeks. And so when I was opening for Kenny, my left arm just went dead. I mean, it died. So I grabbed the microphone with my right arm, finished the show. Thank God it was only 45 minutes long. And I went to the room and I said, well, I want to do a stress test. And I did 3 sit-ups and my heart started hurting. The next day was the Academy of Country Music Awards in L.A. And I told my tour manager, I said, dude, you got to change our flights. I got to go to Nashville. I got to have heart surgery. He said, what? I said, just do it. I went to Nashville and I told the cardiologist, I said, there's something wrong with my heart. Don't know what it is, but you need to check it out. And he said, really? I said, yeah. I was like, right now. So he put me in the hospital and checked my heart, and I had 5 blockages.
Good grief.
Next day, yeah, the 2 days later, I woke up. He said, we fixed all 4 of them. I said, what happened to that back? And he said, we can't get to it. 3 years later, I had a heart attack, and I was in between flights. God's been looking out for me, man. I'm here for some reason, and you know what the reason is? I finally found out.
To entertain.
People come up to me after the show, and they go, Doug, you know that song you played? It really helped me through some rough times.
Yep.
And I think that's why God's got me on earth.
I think it is too. Your song touches people, and we played some of the prettiest ones just before you came on. I mean, just bring you to tears. But I've always been affected by your music, and one of the guys in there, his favorite song is Jukebox of the Country Song. And when you start that thing off, man, where's the sawdust and stuff? That's like we were talking about a while ago. Where is it? What have they done with our country dancing and places? They're out there. Got a guy here in Calgary, Canada. Raleigh told us, he said to say hello to you. And they want to know if you're ever coming up to the Pacific Northwest and perform.
Into Canada?
In Washington, Oregon, Canada area, up in that area?
Well, you know, I don't know when I'm coming up there. I'm trying to get a tour on the West Coast, like start at the top and go down to the bottom. There's only one problem me playing in Canada. I've had a DUI. Oops. And, you know.
Well, tell them you're Larry Simpson. Tell them you're Larry Simpson.
Do what?
Tell them you're Larry Simpson, not Doug Stone. Well, you better not, because that might get you.
Get a Go ahead.
That might get you live if you tell them that.
Well, you know, my manager said I can go up there, but I have to get out a $5,000 bond. So, yeah, that's no problem, I guess.
Nah.
But if I can line a tour up there, you know, for at least a week or maybe 2 weeks, whatever. Yeah, I want to come back up there because I love Canada. They've been real good to me. I got a lot of good fans up there. I've played Toronto, Edmonton. Oh God, there's a bunch of cities up there that I've played.
There's a great band up in Washington. They're called Stomping Grounds. They're in our chat room. They said they would love to open for you if you ever come up there. They're about the hottest thing going up there.
Let me tell you something, man. I used to go up there all the time. They got a great state. It's beautiful. Got to play golf one time, and I mean it didn't rain, which is unusual. But it's the greenest state I've ever been to.
Yeah, my wife has got family, and she used to live up in Portland, Oregon, and she loves it. Always talking about the big mountains and stuff.
Yeah,
you're going to be on. Folks that are you folks that are listening out here right now, you'll be able to hear him live on the radio on WSM online on the 5th, June the 5th, and he's going to be doing the WSM CMA Festival at the Fanfare Exhibit Hall New Music Center. And that shows from 12:30 to 12:50, and he'll be doing autographs from 1 to 2 p.m. And you can hear all this on WSMOnline.com. And on the 6th, he's going to be at the Melting Pot, and that's in Athens, Georgia. And then he's going to be in Macon, Georgia, Waco, Georgia, Peoria Heights, Illinois, Kentucky, Alabama, Rhode Island. Rhode Island?
Well, yeah, we're trying to get some more gigs to go with it, but them Yankees love me. I love them.
Well, I know they like Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, and I was just kidding, but Rhode Island's not what I think of as a big mecca of country music, but it really is. They do love country music.
It's really funny, man. I mean, I can go to New York. I did a lot of gigs up in New York. Yeah, they're starving for country is what it is. I think they've only got 1 or 2 big stations up there.
You know what? I'm really proud of you. I'm looking here. You're going to be doing an all-star concert for children, and that's going to be in Denham Springs, Louisiana, and that's on the 8th, whatever the 8th month is. All my fingers aren't working right now, but we just did a benefit for St. Jude. Anytime I get to do benefits for St. Jude, you can count me in. I love the kids, man. I went up there one day, and if you haven't ever been to St. Jude and get a visit, you need to go there because there's some kids in there that, I don't know why it is, why they're there in the shape they are, but let me tell you something, man, it'll break your heart. It does break your heart.
And you'll do when you leave there, you'll do all you can do for St. Jude.
Makes me cry listening to you talk about it, because I know. And
I did in there.
Well, you sure
give a... I named him Smiling Jack. I don't think he made it through his cancer, but...
You're going to be doing a private show in San Francisco, California. What's her name?
What's her name? I don't know exactly how that's going to go off, but, gay people like my music too, and that's cool. I'm glad, and I don't know if it's a gay bar or whatever, but
no, I don't
matter to me, man. My thing is, look, I ain't got to die. I ain't got to die for nobody, nobody's going to die for me. Everybody's got to make their peace with God at the end.
That's right. Everybody, and that's every color and everything else made you what you are, and bought your record.
Well, it says in the Bible, said, "Don't judge lest ye be judged," and I'm not judging nobody. It ain't my deal to judge people.
No, when I saw Private Show, I figured it was some good-looking woman that invited you up there for a private show, but I wanted to go.
I actually think it's a gay bar, to be honest with you.
I've been in them before and treated really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody hit on me, did anything. It was real nice.
Hey, I have nothing. Ellen DeGeneres is one of my favorite people on TV. I love her.
Everybody else,
you know,
too, yeah. She got a big following.
Let me tell you something. Everything's fine with me. Like I said, I ain't gonna die for you, and I ain't gonna live for you. Everybody got to live their life, you know. And God's gonna judge us all at the end. So.
Well, you give
everybody get ready.
You give a lot of your. I'd say Doug Stone gives an awful lot of himself to Cancer Society, the concert for children. You're going to do a charity concert in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, and that's going to be an acoustic show. I bet that's really neat to see Doug Stone sit there and play a guitar and entertain the crowd. That's my favorite kind of show.
Well, I'll tell you what I've done. I've been playing a lot of bars that I do acoustics at, so I went in my own studio and I recorded the guitar, bass, drums, and keys in my studio, and then I play acoustic against that and sing, and it's like you really got the Doug Stone band now.
You play all of that stuff?
Yes, sir.
Man, I ain't never gonna talk to you again. That's just not fair. I can't even hardly play a guitar, and you play all the entire band. My goodness.
Well, the thing about it is, God said, you know, I'll give you the talents. If you don't lose them, and you don't use them, you lose them. So every time I got a talent, I'm going to do some mechanic. I can build you a house for you. I can work on your car. I can paint your house. I got so many talents that God gave me that, I mean, I'm never going to go hungry. And I use them all.
Folks, you can see all about more stuff, a lot of stuff about Doug Stone. He's got it all out there for you to see at DougStone.com. And that's real easy to type in, DougStone, all one word, .com. And you can see his schedule that he's got. You can see photographs, read his bio, and see everything from the time he was 5 years old up to where he is now at 32. So, you know, get over and see it. Check out his music. I went over and I bought some music myself. I really did. I love your music that much, and I'm just so glad that you came here and be a part of my show today and sat around talking. I just feel like I've known you all my life now. And I'm really grateful, and our people that are listening out here the same way. They just can't get enough of Doug Stone. Is there anything new that's going to be coming out anytime soon?
You know, it's amazing you should ask me that. I was wanting to tell you about that. It's like we planned this or something. Yeah, I've got an album I've been working on for 20 years in my own studio. Things that I've written with other people and things that I've written myself. And I did a lot of the music myself in my own studio. And if I didn't do the music there, I mixed it and sang it there. And it's coming out. I'm having it pressed now. If you can get to DougStone.com, it should be there in another 30 days or so.
Great.
Now, I've made a deal with a guy in North Carolina that's going to put out my White Lightning, and it'll be there. That sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it?
Sounds good.
It'll be there probably 4 or 5 months. It'll be called Doug Stone Stone Age White Lightning.
Stone Age White Lightning.
Yeah.
Whew. I grew up where they made that stuff, you know, in Arkansas.
Yeah, well, it's from North Carolina. It's really good.
Yeah, they make.
I don't think a lot of it anymore. I went to rehab to get off that stuff, but I like a shot or two.
Hey, thank you for coming on here and being a guest. And I hope we can do this again sometime. I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay on just a minute because I have something I need to tell you. And but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to. Let you go. You've been on here so long, and I appreciate it. When somebody spends that much time with us, man, you know, here's the song that y'all all like out there and been wanting to hear. Here's a jukebox and a country song, Mr. Doug Stone. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.